What if I told you that 15 years ago, I used to make my deputy head salary in London, which was a good sum of money from advertising on TeacherToolkit? Now, this isn't a blog live stream that I would normally do, but I'm trying to just diversify my thinking, share what I've learned over the last 15 years, and also explain to you how I believe influencer marketing, at least in education, is changing. So bear with me. I'm just going to put my screen up here. I've got 4 words, and they are like, know, trust, and buy. And I'll go through some examples that I've done over the years and explain why these 4 words still serve me in good stead despite the shifting sands of social media. So for 15 years, I think the first deal I ever got was a 5-figure sum, which I'm going to keep privately for now, because the person that I guess believed in me, I still like to pay back that in some shape or form to other companies that are starting out for the first time. But that person probably watching this in some point in the future will know who they are. But for 15 years, organizations have come to TeacherToolkit, the website, me as an influencer, for endorsement, brand awareness, exposure, and to gather new kind of teacher contacts, so to speak. So TeacherToolkit in the last 5 years has over 150,000 teacher email addresses, for example. But I believe shouting out on social media doesn't work anymore, or it does for some people in certain channels, but for many organizations who might still pay teacher influencers, and there are still many out there, perhaps smaller sums of money, which, you know, used to be how I used to kind of earn a little bit of a side income really early on before we knew what the word influencer was. That's another way that people can endorse products. We see it on the television all the time. It's pretty much embedded into our psyche and our social media day-to-day content that we consume. But 15 years ago, it was unheard of, I suppose. So like all relationships, people make purchases after a long period of time, you know, whether it's purchasing to work for an employer or purchasing a product. And these things tend to happen subconsciously, considering our needs and wants. And there's a big difference between needing and wanting, which I'll share on another blog post in the future. So I've always worked on these 4 principles: like, know, trust, buy. I'm going to show you some examples, show you my analytics, and I normally do this privately, but I'm going public. And I want to kind of show you why these 4 words still stand me in good stead today. So for example, people need to like what you do. So if you're familiar with TeacherToolkit, you'll know the content, you'll come back, you'll like it, it's adding some value. Over time, they'll start to know what you stand for, your values, know the content. They'll tell their friends, and they'll keep coming back at a time that's convenient to them, or when they see a post or an email alert. And if you're consistent, clear, and you're contributing, that like and know will start to be embedded into that person's, I guess, psyche. And after these hallmarks are established, the trust is established with the customer, the brand, or in my case, it might be me, where people come back time and time again. And when like, no, trust is established, people are then happy to buy in. And when I say buy in, I mean with their time or money. They sign up for webinars, they purchase tickets, they read your books, they might follow you online. So let me give you an example before I just move to a different screen. If I knocked on your door as a stranger, we didn't know each other, and I said, would you like to sponsor Battersea Dogs Home, £2 every month? There's a very strong possibility that you'll say no. And the reason for that is, even though that you know about Battersea Dogs Home and you also love dogs, you don't know me. And you might not like me either, because those things are in place. So all that trust, all those things are not there. But instead, if we consider this, let's say I'm your postman and I arrive at the same time every day to deliver your mail, and we have a chat and a laugh and all those kind of things. You like and you know me. And then you tell me that you're going on a holiday, and you trust me to leave the special parcel that you're expecting under the flower pot. You trust that I can do this. Now, if I continue to turn up when you return from holiday and your special parcel was safely delivered, I announce now that the post office is selling some stamps on people's doorsteps. And to save you having to go out and buy them, you know this is a no-brainer decision. It's good for your teacher workload, and it's going to save you time. It's going to just be a really easy decision. There's no objections. You like me, you know me, you trust me, and what I'm offering from the post office is just an easy buy-in decision. So it kind of shows you how these principles work when people buy things. Now, I wouldn't say I am an expert in marketing at all. I'm very much a teacher. I started my career in teaching, 35 years, still working in education. But I guess this influencer marketing world has evolved into my day-to-day practice. And I still wouldn't consider myself a marketing person at all, or an SEO person. But I've clearly learned a great deal from lots of experiences over the years. And it translates into writing lots of blog posts. So let me just show you a couple of things here on the screen. This link here, which is in the YouTube link, you've got lots of examples of blog posts, of partnerships that I've done over the years. This black bar there will take you back 20, 25 pages, going back to about 2010. And I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, great products, new startups, established brands, lots of big players out there, Microsoft, Department for Education, Endowment Foundation, all these influencer partnerships, which you see some stories on the press written in education publications too about this world. So here I'm being transparent about it all. Now, I do have a process with my small team to think about the ethics behind what I'm endorsing. And this is something I've probably done for a good 10 years now. When people join my team, how do I determine what it is I endorse? So it's not just take the money and run. There are certain principles in place. So this is more about my secret sauce and also how I've got this good footprint online. Now, I also don't share this online publicly. So here we go. This is going to be lots of eyes and ears on my Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics is changing lots, and I've been privy to this data for a long, long time. And here you can see here the working life of teacher behaviors online. So the stats are dropping slightly, and I would say this is a bit of kind of chat GPT, AI, robots and servers. And you can see here a spike from China, which is quite unusual happening. The average reading time forever, 15 years, has been 72 seconds, which for an adult literacy, that's about 300 to 400 words per minute. That's dropped to 50 seconds in the last couple of months. And I think that's an AI. And I think Google Analytics are aware of this. But you can see here, 375,000 people in the last 12 months, clicking, scrolling 4.4 million times. It's not huge compared to giants out there, but for a little blog like ours, it's big enough. And here you can see the academic year. So spot the summer holidays, spot the Christmas. And when we dig into this, I can tell you Friday, Saturdays, devices, locations, all those kind of really interesting things. And that's guided me for a long time about the like, know, trust, buy principles. And I could pop over to our social media channel. Let's just go to Twitter example. Twitter is dead. It's definitely not a place to do any kind of content or sharing these days. But if I just pop over to TeacherToolkit and type in the hashtag ad, you'll see some examples where for a long, long time, I've disclosed advertising. I even have to disclose my own books as an ad. Otherwise, I get penalized by Amazon for promoting my own stuff. Anyway, you get some examples there, and you can follow all that if you're interested too. But what I want to show you, and this is where I think the shift in sands have happened on social media and with kind of AI marketing and those kind of things, is I'm going to show you a blog here. So this is a blog I wrote about Nath Fernandez. So Nath has cerebral palsy, and you can imagine schools are a little cautious about getting him in to schools. Children might be scared, those kind of things. So he spent thousands and thousands as a small business on Google Ads, and a lot of companies will know that how Google Ads can be useful if you've got an enormous budget, or a complete drain on your income, your marketing budget, if you've got no spare cash, because the conversions can be a bit mixed. So what we did here was, with Nath, we tried to think, right, how could we think about the life of a teacher, keyword searches, search engine optimization, generative engine optimization, so thinking about AI tools. And here's just one example that I just want to finish with, where I can help companies today with influencer marketing, but under rather than the shout outs and socials, what we want is conversions, email leads, customers to know your product, buy in with it over time, trust it, and those kind of things. So what you can see here is PSHE speaker. Now, if I go to my own Google page here, of course, my search history is in here, and it's going to be the first link on Google. So pretty straightforward. But let me pop to an incognito browser. Okay, pop over to Google. Okay, and I'll show you this again. So a school is looking for a PSHE speaker. That's likely to be the key command typed in or thereabouts. And you can see it's the second link alongside the PSHE Association. And that blog was written on the 28th of August, 2005. Now, actually, this blog appeared the first day after the blog was published on the 27th of August. Now, you can also see another little hack, and most people kind of know this, but just in case you are not aware, Google starts to give you those kind of prompts that people might type in. So if I pop to PSHE Speaker for Schools, I've not done this, but then I'm also pleased to say that the PSHE Speaker blog that I've written is on the first page, not sponsored, below the sponsored blog post, where people are spending thousands on Google Ads, this company here. And the other battle that we've all got is that the AI overview on Gemini, Copilot, and everywhere else is giving you all those details, and some are providing links, some aren't. But at least that blog's there above that AI summary, and there'll be some references there to some organizations. And I guess when we think about SEO, search engine optimization, we've now got to consider GEO, generative engine optimization. So that's, I just thought I'd share this and do a live stream. It's not my usual live stream, but I thought, let me just share a bit more about the other side of TeacherToolkit and the other aspect of my day-to-day work. You know, I'm very much a teacher working in education, supporting schools, looking at education research, but there's a whole branch here where lots of companies out there are trying to raise their own brand awareness and come into influencers or established platforms to get a boost. So I'm just kind of showing you here that the shifting sands of social media, the algorithms and how they change, but how Google, I believe, and the generative engine optimization, I guess, is still number one. So if you're looking for a little boost, I suppose, this is where I'd focus my efforts. And, you know, I'm happy to help if you're interested. So get in touch. That's pretty much the message. So rather than approach, you know, marketing in the traditional sense, think carefully about TeacherToolkit, our strong footprint, maybe can help promote your services and save yourself £10,000 a month, perhaps, on, you know, Google Ads. Anyway, there's loads more I can tell you, but I hope that might give some help and guidance to people that are in this space. Okay, bye for now.